And there it's time to turn down the music a little bit, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Surrounded by Details podcast, aka SBD podcast. My name is Stevo. I am your host. I am your photographer in need. I am whatever you want me to be sometimes. Wherever you are, whatever you do, I hope you have a great start in the week. It is Monday, the 10th of July, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check here. And yes, I am correct. It is Buddha holiday in Bangkok, so my Monday has been kind of slow, kind of relaxed, but I have been looking forward to this very evening because I am podcasting with not anybody. I'm podcasting with somebody who made history. I'm talking about Aung La N Sang, the first world champion to come out of Myanmar by outstriking now former One Championship middleweight champion Vitaly Bigdash for the world championship belt at One Light of Nation a week ago, 1.5 weeks ago in Yangon, Myanmar, as always at the Tuvana Indoor Stadium, and it was packed, ladies and gentlemen. But before we get to that, I would like to give a huge shout out to my main sponsor, Dreamcatcher Hostel Bar and Cafe. This is a fresh deal. My man Derek just recently opened his hostel and we decided to have a little cooperation. He said, "Hey Stevo, I like what you do," and I said, "Hey Derek, I like what you do," and then we kind of met each other and said, why don't we support each other, because you are always stronger with each other. Teamwork makes dream work. So Dreamcatcher Hostel Bar and Cafe, newly opened bar and restaurant, will open for good next week, but they already opened their bar and restaurant and cafe. They have draft beer. If you want to come to Bangkok, stay for a night or two, or just look for an amazing place to stay where you can meet amazing people, Dreamcatcher Bar and Hostel and Cafe and so many more things is available for your needs. And talking about needing stuff, I needed to do something this week. I just wanted to add a little bit extra into my week, so I decided to wake up a little bit earlier. Normally I already wake up at 6:30, somewhere around there, but I decided why not become a Navy SEAL and wake up crazy early, like 5 in the morning. Unfortunately, we had a huge lightning yesterday evening in the middle of the night, so I couldn't really sleep and completely failed at my waking up mission on the very first day. However, no tears spread. Tomorrow is another day, so we give it another try, and maybe I can make it tomorrow. I'm looking forward. And here he is, the man himself, Mr. Aung La, calling me up directly. Hello. Boom. Hello.
Hello. Steve, can you hear me?
I can hear you wonderful. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
How are you, buddy?
Good. Is the background music too loud?
No, I can hear you. If you get a little bit closer to the mic, that will be awesome.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you wonderful, man.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect. I was in the middle of my introduction and then you called me up. What kind of perfect timing. But Aung La, what can I say? Thank you so much, first of all, for taking the time and coming on the podcast. I know you have been very busy. How are you, man?
I'm well. I'm actually back at the gym now. So.
No, you're already back to training. No time out?
Yeah. No time off.
Damn it.
I got a target on my back.
That is for sure. Before we get a little bit closer into that, are you using a headset or something similar?
Yes, I am.
Yes, can you hold
Should
the
I not use a headset?
Yeah, that would be even better if you can just drop the headset, because it makes the voice a little bit more quiet.
Okay. 1 second. Let me step out.
Yeah, no problem.
Is this better?
This is way better.
Okay.
Awesome. We are ready to go. Aung La, you have been back in the States for a week now. How have you been received, and how has your first week been back at home as a champion? That is my first question to you.
Yeah, it's nothing like in Myanmar, you know. My close friends, my family, and my teammates they met me and they picked me up at the airport, so that was very nice.
How does
got some welcoming from the the Gachin Alliance, and they gave me like a gift and stuff like that. So pretty cool.
What do you get as a gift as a fighter? I mean, you don't get teddy bears and underwear, I guess, like Britney Spears on stage.
No.
What do you get?
No. From the Gachin Alliance, I got a plaque.
Hmm.
And then from the general in Myanmar, we got some money,
Hmm.
which is nice.
Money is always good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you consider yourself a money person, or are you more chili vanilli? You don't really care.
Not at all. I don't care for the money. So.
That's good. Yeah, man, I don't even know where to start. I think the best way to start this is going all the way back to the beginning of the year, because for the people who don't know, I said it at the beginning of the podcast, you are a mixed martial art fighter, because we have a huge MMA audience, but also some other people who are not really into MMA. And you are the first world champion ever to come out of Myanmar. And the whole journey basically started at the beginning of the year in Jakarta at one Quest for Power, where you surprisingly took a fight on short notice and you had your first shot against Vitaly Bigdash. Why do you think it didn't work out back then?
Didn't have a good training camp. I was the fight was against myself, you know. I've never fought I wasn't ready for a 5-round fight. And like I pretty much gassed out after the second round. So I was in like more of a survival mode. I couldn't really go after him like I wanted to. So like the first fight was pretty much a fight against myself, you know.
Yeah. How disappointed were you?
We took that fight. We took that fight because we wanted a shot. We were able to get on contract that I'll get to fight him again if I were to lose.
Yeah, I heard that rumor, and that would have been my next question. I was wondering if that is true, because as a journalist and as a photographer, I do my work, of course, and I heard the rumor that you actually did the move to put that in your contract, that you get a rematch, and that is very smart done. How did you decide that? By yourself, or did you do that through your management?
Through my management. We know he's a dangerous fighter, and like. It wouldn't make sense. This is right after Christmas, when I'm like fat and when I'm not in shape. You know?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Christmas food can be dangerous.
To take a fight like that, we were gonna shoot our shot. You know, it's maybe we'll catch him, maybe not. But the odds were against us. And so to make it fair, we asked for a title shot in Myanmar. In the contract, so I would be able to get my shot with a good training camp, you know.
Would you have taken that shot without that rematch guarantee?
Probably not, because they promised that I get a title shot in Myanmar. You know. Yeah,
which is obviously smart, because you are from Myanmar, and what better scenario can you have than fighting in front of your home crowd? How much?
You know. Not just that. Like I would get a full training camp, you know, an 8-week training camp. So go ahead. What was your question?
So how much earlier did you actually arrive in Yangon this time? Considering that, as you already kind of hinted there before, in Yangon the world for you is a little bit different. You are kind of a superstar, a celebrity, a hero. How much earlier did you arrive? Did you do some of your training camp in Myanmar, or did you do all of that in the States and then came over for your media obligations?
I did the training camp in here. I went there 10 days early to get acclimated. When I fought in Jakarta, I was jet lagged the whole time. Like the whole time. Even the night before the fight, like I couldn't sleep at all. You know.
So how much did the whole media appointments and attention distract you from actually getting used to Myanmar, finding your rhythm? Because it seems to me that you were kind of thrown directly into a tank of sharks with all the media going on.
I have a friend, and like he's kind of like my manager there. He had my schedule on pretty good lockdown. So in my schedule, we didn't do much media when I got there, and when we did most of the media with the time that we have, like that was free. We didn't do too much media. I wanted to make sure I wasn't distracted. My focus was on the fight itself. So like it wasn't too bad. And I stayed pretty hidden. I stayed in my room, and I didn't go out in public much. I just stayed in my room, and I just went to the gym.
Yeah.
And luckily for us, the gym was pretty secluded, you know.
How free can you move in Myanmar? I mean, how big is the difference from stateside to being in Myanmar? I mean, that seems to me, as an outsider, it looks like two completely different worlds.
For sure.
How do you handle that? Because I can imagine that's not very easy.
Yeah, you know, like in Myanmar, everybody wants to take a photo. Everybody wants to talk to you. And like you just gotta take it as it is, you know.
Yeah.
I don't like when I come back home, and when I come back to when I come back to Myanmar, it's like a whole different world, you know. From the States, I can move around freely and stuff. And like people, only hardcore MMA fans will know that. You know?
That must
like
be
if I go to a gas station, people will look at me and they're like, "Do you fight?" You know, they ask me stuff like that. But
yeah, I mean, no offense, but people can see that are into fighting that you fight. You look like a fighter.
Yeah, from my face, from my scars and stuff.
Yeah, you enjoy sparring, man. I've seen that on your social media.
Yeah.
Do you always go hard or go home?
For sure.
Aung La, let's move into... No, before we move into your fight, I want to ask you a question. I saw you had some open practice session in Myanmar before the fight, and with MMA growing in Myanmar, did you receive any weird questions? Because it seemed to me the interview was given in Burmese. I couldn't tell what you were saying, but it looked to me that you received one or two questions that were really surprising to you, that they asked those kind of questions. How much are people in touch with mixed martial arts over in Myanmar? I know Lethwei is huge over there. I shoot for the World Lethwei Championship, so I'm there quite a bit, and I know Lethwei is massive. How about MMA?
You know, our culture, like, not very much like the Thai culture. Like they've been embracing MMA, and they show respect for MMA, and there's a lot of potential for growth. So at the interview, the questions that they asked were, there were some good questions, good smart questions, and then there were some questions that you don't really want to ask a fighter like 2 days before the fight. Like this guy asked me, are you ready for this fight?
Okay, no, I'm not.
Do you think you're gonna win? Yeah, do you think you're gonna win this fight? Like, a guy that's getting ready to fight in a day or two, like, don't want to hear that.
Of course not. Of course not. But you have.
A fighter don't want to like be asked, "Are you ready for this fight? Are you gonna win this fight?" It's just a bad question, and
I can totally see that.
As a reporter, they should know that.
Yeah, but you have to understand that there's a media side as well. It looks awesome when you can cut everything together in the final cut for the news or for the TV show later on, and you have the fighter saying that, yes, I feel ready, I'm stoked. There's always two perspectives, but of course I can understand that as a fighter it's quite annoying to be asked such questions, especially shortly before. Aung La, let's go into the fight here. Can you take me through your whole experience of entering the stadium? I saw Victor Chui was posting videos on his social media. There were lines of people even before the event, and it was quite it was sold out if I didn't if I don't mistake. And I saw you posting a video with people celebrating. How much goosebumps did you have from a scale 1 to 10, where 10 is just amazing goosebumps?
No, you get I get goosebumps looking at it after the fight's done. But when I fight, when I walk out, I'm in the zone. It doesn't. I could care less if there's one person in this audience. If there's like a million people in the audience, I'm just in the zone, you know. So when I walk out, I feel the energy. I walk out, I stay focused. I stay in the moment. But when I look back at it, I get goosebumps. It's amazing, you know. It's crazy. Bottom seat to all the way to the top seat is packed. Everybody's with glow sticks, you know.
Yeah.
When I come out, they sing the song, you know, the song, and it was amazing, you know. But during the time when I do walk out, I'm focused and I'm in the zone, so it doesn't really matter, you know. And that's what, as a pro, that's what, you know, you try to put your mindset into, you know, to be in the moment, to not get carried away, to not get like flustered by the audience. So.
I always wonder how people do that, because it's kind of unavoidable, and especially if we go straight into round one here, where you drop Bigdash with a combination. I mean, you hear the cheering of the crowd, and how hard is it to not get too excited, because we know Bigdash can come back. We know that from his fight against Svirit. How careful do you have to be there in that kind of moment? Because you kind of want to finish the fight as early as possible and as spectacular as possible. But at the same time, you also know there's always the chance for a comeback. So what went through your head at that moment, considering that back?
It was very calculated. Like, when I hit him, he circled to my power hand, and he was circling to my power hand, and I hit him with the overhand, and I saw he was like a little stunned, so I went in for the kill, and he covered up really nicely. I had to pull his hand down and hit him with a hook, but as he was on the ground, like I was very calculated, because I remember the fight. It's very well, so. With Igor, so like I had to make sure I didn't burn out. So in my head, I was actually counting the numbers of the punches.
That's crazy.
So calculated, very calculated.
So how much is it of a benefit to actually fight against the same fighter twice? Because it must be easier to prepare, or is it harder because you know that your opponent will?
It's hard. Like the first fight and the second fight is like night and day, because the first fight I was so out of shape, you know, and if I didn't have the many losses that I had, if I didn't have my comebacks, and if I didn't have my like hardship, like it messes with you mentally to lose to a guy and then have to fight the same guy, you know. To lose him like the way I did in the first fight. You know, it's mentally hard to come back from. Like, it's scary, you know, like for some people it's going to be scary. Like my uncles and my friends, they were scared that I had to fight him again on such a, you know, within like such a short time frame.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can totally see your point there. And how did you come out of that energy? Because I can imagine it's not easy when you have other people being scared around you. How did you cut yourself off from that and say to yourself, okay, this is going to be different. This is going to be, I'm going to see that as a new fight.
I try to stay away from negative energy. You know, I try to stay away from people like that. I surround myself with guys that have strong mindset. And my team is like that, you know. Yeah. My team has strong mindset. They're not like, they do something with their lives. Like they're a world champion in jiu-jitsu. They're pro boxers with real good records, you know. So like I try to surround myself with people like that, and not people like my uncle or, you know.
Well, it's family, it's okay, man. They're scared.
Yeah. No, because like 99%, 97%, like. Most people don't do, you know, anything with their lives, you know, because they're scared. They're scared to take a risk. Yeah. But if you're scared to take a risk, you're not going to get the reward, you know.
I totally hear you.
Yeah, so I try to stay away from there, and I try to surround myself with people that are positive and have good energy.
Yeah, it's not always easy, but you got to create those surroundings for yourself. And I can imagine that a gym where you have a team like that is, of course, the best spot to be, because all the people are putting the hours, the time into you, because they want to see you succeed as well. Let's walk into round 2 here, because Bigdash took you to the ground, and it looked close to a rear naked choke there at some point. How comfortable were you on the ground after the first round, standing up and? What did you prefer? Do you feel comfortable on the ground, or are you more a guy that wants to stay up?
I don't. He has pretty good. He has really good ground and pound. I don't like. When he got the choke, I had wrist control, so it wasn't as close as it looked. And as he was squeezing, I know he was kind of like gassing his arms out too. So, but I made it a point to not get hit with the same shots on the ground on the closed guard, as I did last fight. So I had good wrist control and good posture control. But that's one thing I'm gonna work on my next fight. Work on my wrestling.
Yeah, we're gonna come to that in a second here about your next fight. I have to ask you though, because after the first fight, it seemed to me that a lot of people were actually thinking that Bigdash is gonna win. How did you handle this whole Bigdash? Because he had this reputation of being up there for a long time. A lot of people were seeing him on the top for a long time. Did that motivate you even more, or did that influence you a little bit more negative?
No, it's positive. It's positive, and it gave me, a desire to win. I mean, everybody thought Bigdash. You thought Bigdash was gonna win. Let's be honest.
Yeah, dude. I don't make no secret out of that. I was shooting Bigdash in Phuket during his training camp, and I was like, damn. And I'm also too visual. I still had the first fight in front of me. I know George Hickman from Tiger Muay Thai, MMA head coach. He was picking you. And it's very hard, man, because I'm still too new to MMA to know how much development a fighter can do within 3-4 months.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I did everything in my power. I did everything, absolutely everything in my power to be ready for the fight. Every day, I did everything in my power to be ready for the fight. And you can make a lot of gains if you focus everything, your energy, your soul into it. So when I went to the fight, I didn't give a shit. I did not give a shit. I was ready to go out there and take him out, So
yeah, you need to close off. You need to start to get into that tunnel, and then you need to start to visualize. And I think if you don't do that, then you already lost a certain percentage of the fight, because 95% is one in your mind. It's a mindset in fighting. I realize that talking to many fighters, and again with you, it seems to be the same. Let's walk into the fourth round here, because you damaged Bigdash's eye there with an uppercut, and I recently saw another fight, and I wanted to ask you that. Because who was that? I think that was in Bellator 180, Chandler, who basically lost because of an injury. How would it have been for you if you would have won because of an injury? Do you enjoy it as much as winning by actually winning by a decision, or knocking somebody out, or choking? Or
yeah, for sure. Injuries happen, but I would not be happy. That's why I actually paused for a second when he got hit with that. He thought I poked him in the eye, which was not true. And I'm not a dirty fighter at all.
Oh no, I don't consider you as that.
I actually paused, and I actually gave him a chance to recover from the eye poke. That he thought it was an eye poke, which was with an uppercut. I hit him with an uppercut, grazed his eye. Yeah. And he thought it was an eye poke.
Did you?
I didn't jump on it. I let him recover. I actually looked at the ref, and I looked at him.
Who was reffing in that fight, by the way? That is something I completely missed.
The Japanese ref.
Oh, okay, Yushi Shimada.
Yep.
I can't believe I remember the name. I hope somebody will pay attention to that. I don't remember names very often. That's why it makes me a little bit happy. And happy was something that I can imagine you wasn't in the 5th round, because Bigdash kind of came on strong with 2 minutes to go, and in the final round he really tried to give it its best, and you ended the fight on your back. How confident were you that you took the fight? Because the rule set in One Championship is a little bit different from the UFC. It's not judged round by round. One Championship
it's
is
like
in the whole.
Yeah.
So what went through your head after the final bell went off and you were lying on your back?
I thought I did enough, you know. I thought I did, like, I knocked him down. I thought I did more damage than he did, you know. Every time I would hit him, he would try to take me down. I didn't get hit with anything.
So how fresh did you feel after the fight?
I could have gone another round.
Machine.
Like, if you look at our body posture and stuff, like, you know, he was way more tired than I was. Like, so as far as the damage go, I felt like I did more damage. As far as the like the whole fight as a whole, like, he might have stole some rounds with the takedown. But I don't think in our rule set that's not the case, you know.
Yeah, in the One Championship rule set, I think you won, and so did the judges, because you won by unanimous decision, and you actually got a little bit of glitter in your eye, / you were crying a little bit. I quite enjoyed that comment that you made on social media there. But of course, when you got your hand raised, how?
Thank you very much. Yeah.
When you got your hand raised, what went through your head and your emotions? Describe your emotions to win a World Championship belt on home ground in Myanmar in front of your home crowd. How did you feel?
It's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. It still hasn't set in yet in my head. I've been like grinding for so long, for like the last over 10 years, that with nothing to show for, and then having this is like pretty unbelievable.
How long did it take you to realize what you have accomplished, not only for yourself but also for your nation and for your country?
Yeah, it's still like slowly sinking in. You know, it's slowly sinking in. Maybe it will sink in before my next fight.
Well, and here we come about talking about your next fight, because what is next for you? Are we gonna see a trilogy fight with you and Bigdash, or maybe we're gonna see you back in Yangon? Is that something that's gonna happen immediately, or you want to take on somebody else first?
No, I do not. I want to fight somebody else. I don't want to fight the same person 3 times in 1 year. You know, I would love to fight him next year, but I want somebody else besides Bigdash.
You have anything in mind?
I don't want to fight one guy 3 times in a calendar year, you know?
Yeah, I can see that. Even though it would have been exciting.
By all means, I want to give him the 3rd match. I want to give him the 3rd match.
Well, that would be nothing less than fair, I think, because he gave you the rematch.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. He was not happy to give me the rematch, you know, but I'm more than happy to give him a rematch. More than happy to give him a rematch, because he makes me a better fighter.
Yeah. Well,
and thanks to him, I'm a better fighter. So I'm gonna do the same for him, you know.
Yeah. So do you have anybody particular in mind already, or do you just say I take it as it comes?
I'll take it as it comes. I think the guy that I replaced for him in January's fight.
Yeah, the Polish dude. I always forget his name.
Yeah, Marcin Prechnio.
Thank you, Marcin Prechnio. Yeah. Yeah, he is fighting now in Indonesia.
I think if he wins his fight, if he wins his next fight, that would be a good match for me and him.
Yeah.
You know, he's a big, strong guy, so.
Very focused, yeah. He's gonna fight now in Indonesia or in Macau, I believe. There's loads of stuff going on in Indonesia, yeah. It's gonna be very interesting.
He's fighting in Indonesia, yeah.
Yeah, are you gonna watch the fights from over at the stateside to follow who's picking you next?
For sure, I'll be watching the fights carefully.
And how from a scale 1 to 10, where 10 is 100% sure, how likely is it that you will be back in Yangon already in November? Because One Championship has another card coming up in Yangon in fall, later this year, November 3rd.
Yeah.
Of course, I can imagine you want to fight in Myanmar, but how likely is it?
I think it's very likely. It's like very, very likely.
Have you talked to one, or where do you ground that?
We're talking. We're negotiating.
Interesting. Would you like to fight somewhere else? I mean, of course, I can imagine that it's very...
I would love to fight somewhere else.
Any dream destination?
I would love to fight in Thailand. I would love to fight in Singapore. I would love to fight in Manila. I don't want to fight in Jakarta anymore.
Why not? What's wrong with Jakarta?
It's very congested and just... I can't... It's hard to... it's just a hard place to fight.
Yeah, Jakarta, it's loads of traffic.
Very I can't go to places that I want to, and stuff. So
yeah, it's not easy. You need to find the right balance with everything where you feel comfortable in order to perform on your highest level.
Yes.
Aung La, how did you celebrate after the victory? What happened? Did you go back to your hotel room, locked yourself in, and just had a beer, or just fell asleep? What did you do?
I did exactly what you just said.
I know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had dinner with my dad, and then I saw Bigdash too there.
Oh yeah, I saw the photo on social media. How easy is it to meet your opponent after a fight like this?
It's fine. I like Bigdash. He's a nice guy, He's a good person too. So I have nothing against Bigdash at all. I like him,
Yeah. And do you think that is the opposite as well, or you think he was quite annoyed that you put that rematch in your contract, or did you feel that it was honestly...
I'm pretty sure he's very annoyed. but you should fight Ben Askren.
Yeah, that is... I think that is why a lot of people had Bigdash on their list, because they wanted to see fight him, Ben Askren. Can you see yourself fighting somebody like Ben Askren? Because you mentioned before you're not a big fan of ground game.
No, I'm more than happy to fight anybody. I'll fight anybody. I'm serious. Like, I'll fight anybody.
Well, next time I will fight you, Aung La. Then we see how much you say that again.
you want to do Lethway style? Or you want to
I do Lethway style. I do Lethway style, and then I throw my lenses towards your head before, and then if my lens doesn't hit your head, then it's bad for me.
You gotta hit me with some good shots, huh?
Yeah, well, I hate to throw my equipment, but if I'm locked in a cage with you, I would definitely throw everything I have and then try to run as fast as possible. I'm a skinny little fuck, man. I'm not a fighter. I'm a photographer.
Yeah, I've seen you do some cartwheels.
Cartwheels? That's discrimination. That's hand jumps. That's from my breakdance days. But I have back issues now, so I can't do that shit anymore.
Back issues.
Aung La, how are you gonna spend the rest of the day today? You said you are at the gym. You gonna train?
Yeah, I got training.
No break, no holiday with your wife and kids.
No, my wife and I, we're gonna take an anniversary in September.
And where are you gonna go? Any plans yet?
I go crazy if I take too long of a break.
You seem such a calm person. I can't imagine you going crazy.
Yeah, no, I going crazy as in like, just my mind goes crazy.
Yeah, I'm a workaholic. You seem like a trainaholic.
Yeah, maybe not trainaholic, but I try to get work done. So.
Well, Aung La, I hope you.
Yeah, so like I'm pretty sure they're gonna put me in November card.
Well,
I'm pretty sure.
I hope to be there this time. I was a little bit on the bench at the beginning of this year with One Championship. I hope to be back and witness that, because I always enjoy seeing you fight, and you're a cool guy, so you deserve it, and I'm looking forward to see you fighting and see who is next for you. That's gonna be very, very interesting. Aung La, thank you so much for making the time to come on the podcast to tell us a little bit about your walk us through your fight, how you arrived back home in the States, and your emotions. I really appreciate it, and I hope we see you back in the cage very soon.
Yep, thank you.
Thank
you, buddy.
Take care. Aung La, ladies and gentlemen. Bye bye.
Yep, bye bye.
boom, and there we hang up Aung La. Not the most talkative guy, but all the way leads to Rome, and sometimes you just need to stay calm and easy, and I think it is very interesting to hear how that feels different for everybody. Some people get super excited after they accomplish something like that, while Aung La seemed a little bit more, it's part of what I trained for, it had to come eventually, so I'm really enjoying that he is in a happy state and still at the state of realizing what he did accomplish. And talking about accomplish, a big shout out to my man Dukes, the photographer of One Championship Cage Side, for letting me use his photo as a thumbnail. That is probably his biggest accomplishment ever, and I say that with a smile. Always taking awesome photos from cage side, walking in and out, and all this kind of stuff. So all the still footage, hashtag not a native English speaker, all the still image footage that you see on One Championships or Facebook coming up during the live event is most likely from this guy. So go and like his page on Facebook and Instagram. He has some amazing work and he's a cool dude as well. On that behalf, thank you for letting me use your thumbnail. I wanted to say that, but then Aung La called me up, so has to be done. However, what else is there to say? I said at the beginning of the episode that there has been loads of stuff happening today, and I don't even know where to start. What more is there to say? Much. I mean, the next event for One Championship is in, let me see, Surabaya, Indonesia. Akhmedov versus Moraes. It's a flyweight unification bout between Akhmedov, the champ, and Moraes, the interim champion. He won that interim title last year in Macau, if I remember correctly. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be in Surabaya from July 26th to July 30th, and then I'm gonna come back to Bangkok, and then it's break for 2 days, then I'm gonna go straight to Macau for the next event, and this is what I'm looking forward to. Before we started this podcast, I shortly talked to Reese the Lightning McLaren, because I've been promoting quite big that I would like to see a rematch between Bibiano Fernandez or Fabiano, I always mix it up. However, you get my point. Fernandez versus Reese, that would have been my dream match, the immediate rematch, because the last one in Manila was super entertaining, was close, so I would have liked to see that, but no, One Championship thought different. They actually announced that Andrew Leone is gonna be back in the cage and fight for the title against Fernandez in Macau, August 5th. One Championship Kings and Conqueror is the name of the event. Looking forward to that. I'm going to be there as well, August 2nd to August 6th. And then, just as we spoke at the beginning of this podcast, One Championship did send out their newsletter, not newsletter, but press release for, where do we have it? There we go, for Kuala Lumpur. And what can I say? What a stacked card! Reese McLaren is gonna fight, let me scroll down here. Aguilan is gonna be back against the Sheriff, the Shark, Mohammed. And Kevin the Silencer Bellington from the famous Team Lakai is gonna face Reese McLaren, the Lightning. That's an interesting matchup as well, because Kevin kind of want to take Fernandez back on again. He lost. That was actually my first event for One Championship in China at the beginning of 2016. And then we have the Super Brothers are back on. Athena Osman is gonna be back. And of course, we have been recently talking about this with Kumite Radio and George Hickman. Keanu Suba is finally gonna take on Christian Lee. That is a fight that I'm looking forward to, and the main event, of course. How can I not be mentioning the main event at the very beginning? Marat the Cobra Gafurov is gonna fight 28-year-old Martin the Situation, Yeah, pun. Nagin from Sydney, Australia, he gets his rematch. This time he's gonna be 100% ready. So there is loads of stuff to look forward to when it comes to one championship. And I'm trying to get back to my notes as I speak here to see what else is on my list before I shut this podcast for today, because I still want to enjoy my Buddha holiday. I want to go out and take a walk. It's always nice. People are having barbecues, not so much alcohol though. However, I slowly want to bring this podcast to an end. And what else is there to say for the next upcoming episodes? We have a bunch of guests coming up. We are just trying to figure out the perfect date so it fits for everybody. So I don't want to announce anything yet, but we have loads of stuff coming on. We have a cocktail specialist coming on. We have a filmmaker and director coming on the podcast very soon. Many things that you can look forward to. It's going to be huge. It's going to be amazing. And that's basically it for me today. Keep an eye open for new episodes on our YouTube channel and our social media in general. So subscribe and follow us on iTunes, Podbean, YouTube, SoundCloud and Stitcher, where you have to look for Surrounded by Details podcast. And then of course also social media in form of Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Yes, you heard correctly. Twitter is gonna be back. I'm gonna try to get it out there a little bit more on Twitter. A lot of people have been asking me to be a little bit more active on Twitter. I don't see the point, but I won't deny my audience. And if you're not a social media person or YouTube person or Podbean, iTunes, whatever it is, you can always go on my website www.stevebonhage.com, just as the social media, STEVBONHAGE.com, and there you will be able to find the finest MMA photography in Asia, maybe the world, maybe even the universe. And how dare I to say that with just have been mentioning Dukes 5 minutes before? Maybe the second finest, maybe the first finest. We will see. Maybe me and Dukes have to step in the cage. Nobody knows. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. You have been listening to the Surrounded by Details podcast with me, Stevo. I was your host, and thank you so much for always tuning in. Adios, amigos.